listening to the Dr. No Show on WHIT Radio.org. Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. No Show. This is the Morning Buzz with Brandon Barris and me, Mr. P. And Brandon, what's our top stories today?
The desperate search in Portland, Maine for a Harvard Business School student missing since Sunday ended in a heartbreak after his body was found just days before he was to graduate. One of the world's oldest civilizations took a major step toward democracy Wednesday as Egyptians began a historic vote for president. Regulators are looking into a report that Morgan Stanley, the lead underwriter for Facebook's initial public offering last week, shared a negative assessment of the social network with major clients ahead of the IPO. Today in history, in 1788, South Carolina became the 8th state in the United States. Today's birthdays, it is Drew Carey's birthday today. He was born in 1958, the same year as my dad. He turned 54 today. He is the comedian of his own show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? And he's also the host, or was the host, of Price is Right. So, Mr. P, have you ever watched any of those shows, The Price is Right or Whose Line Is It Anyway?
I have. And, Bob Barker used to do it, so I've enjoyed it,
Right.
So I haven't really seen too much of Carey on it, but I have enjoyed it.
Right. And the series that we've been doing for a couple of weeks now is the Presidents of the United States. Mm-hmm. We're up to Chester A. Arthur. He was the 21st President of the United States, in office from 1881 to 1885. Becoming president after the assassination of President James A. Garfield, Arthur struggled to overcome suspicions of his beginnings as a politician from the New York City Republican machine, succeeding at the task by embracing the cause of civil service reform. His advocacy for and enforcement of the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act was the centerpiece of his administration. Mr. P, as yesterday, this is not really a well-known president.
Again, all these presidents, Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, are not, renowned presidents.
They're not top 10 presidents.
All that stuff, but they are, noteworthy. Any president, I think, is noteworthy just for the period that they lived in, so we get to know more about that period, So,
right, yeah.
We will continue with our series on the presidents, but thanks, Brandon, and, maybe next week we'll get some more better-known presidents.
Yeah. Random fact for today, car accidents rise 10% during the first week of daylight savings time.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we shouldn't drive that whole week.
Well,
just make a day with no driving.
How much?
10%.
Because I guess people are not used to
the time difference.
And they're still sleepy? Is that what
maybe,
it is?
Maybe. Mr. P, I guess this is a new series we're starting here on WHITradio.org.
Right.
Is Country of the Day.
Yes, we're going to do a little summary of Country of the Day. Not anything intensive, but a few facts and informations. And today's country is India. So
yes,
Brandon.
Well, it's the 7th largest country by geographical area, the second most populous country with over 1.2 billion people, and is the most populous democracy in the world. It's bounded by the Indian Ocean on the south and the Arabian Sea on the southwest, and the Bay of Bengal on the southeast. It shares land borders with Pakistan to the west, China, Nepal, and Bhutan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Bhutan to the northeast. So, Mr. P, India is actually, a pretty popular country, I must say.
Populous.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if it's popular. Of course, India's been, an ancient civilization. It predates our civilization by thousands and thousands of years. It's a very fascinating place, a beautiful place, exotic place. It's just mysterious. People can't get enough of it, to learn about it. It's so different than our culture and so different than our society. Yet there are similarities in that, as you would say, it's the largest democracy, and we're a democracy. So it does have similarities. They are an ally of ours, and some of the pictures you're seeing right now, like the Taj Mahal, extremely famous. People come from all over the world just to look at it and marvel at its wonders. It has close to 1 billion people, I would imagine, and it's not. I think it's about half the size of the United States.
Yeah.
So figure that
Yeah.
how condensed and congested it is.
Yeah,
So.
and Mr. P, the great thing about going to these type of countries like India, China, it's kind of almost like a different world from here, because you go to so many other different countries and it's kind of the same. You have similar stuff between the United States and other countries, but when you go to countries like India, China, countries along those lines, it's kind of like a different world. So you get the experience.
It's a completely different world. Completely different customs, culture, history. Topography, geography, whatever you want to name it, it's different, and that's why people travel.
Right.
And they get to see how other people live. And there's the ancient India, and then there's the new India. The new India has modern buildings just like ours, skyscrapers and stuff. But I'm sure people don't go to see that. They go to see the ancient buildings and stuff.
Right, Mr. P. If you had one country in the world that you can go to, but it has to be only one country, what would it be?
United States of America.
United States?
Yes.
Well, what about vacation? What about vacation?
United States of America. It's so varied. There's so many states and so many countries. If I was going to a foreign country, what foreign country would I?
What foreign country would
Foreign
you go
country, maybe Italy. I think that's beautiful, but they're all. I mean, my ancestry is from Italy, so maybe I'd like to see where they came from. I went there once, but I like to travel around some more. But every country is fascinating in itself, and just to see the sights and to talk to the people, and there's no education quite like that. You can read about a country in a book, or you can read about cultures and people, but until you go there,
Right.
It's not the same.
Well, yesterday the 2012 NBA playoffs, Miami beat Indiana 115-83. The Heat lead that series 3-2.
Yep.
And a lot of people expecting the Heat to win and either take on the Boston Celtics or the Philadelphia 76ers, who play tonight 8 o'clock, and the Celtics lead that series 3-2.
Right.
So, Mr. P, I understand the Knicks are out. I understand that, but are you still kind of keeping up with the NBA players?
Just a little bit. I watched a little bit of the games. I can't say I watched the whole game. Maybe I'll watch 5 or 10 minutes of it, and then I'll switch the channel. There's no rooting interest really. I'm not passionate about any team that's in it. It looked like Indiana was going to take it to Miami. They were up 2-1. Seemed like everybody on Miami was hurt, but they've changed the series around.
They turned it around.
Yeah, it's 3-2 now, Miami. And they go to Miami to play, so it's going to be a tough road for Indiana to come back. But
anything's
it's doable.
Possible.
They have to win 2 games, but right now it looks like Miami is in the driver's seat. And the Western Conference is now set. The Spurs against the Thunder. That's going to be the Western playoff game. And as now, it looks like Boston and Miami are in the driver's seat, but, who knows?
Right. Well, the NHL playoffs, the Los Angeles Kings beat Phoenix yesterday 4-3. Los Angeles wins that series 4-1. Right. So they move on to the Stanley Cup. Yeah. And whether that will be against the Rangers or the Devils, we'll find that out tonight for Game 7 at 8 o'clock. Mr. P, I think this is the biggest game of the year for all New York fans.
All right.
I think it is.
Who plays this Game 7? The Kings and who?
No, the Rangers and the Devils.
They're tied 3-3?
Yeah, they're tied 3-3.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know that. So when's Game
7
tonight?
Game 7 tonight at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
So I think this is one of the biggest games of the year for New York fans. The
Mets weren't the Rangers favored?
I'm pretty sure the Rangers were favored in every series for being the number 1 seed, but it's the Devils have really kept their own against
Right,
them.
right.
So we'll see
Yeah.
tonight. The Mets won yesterday 3-2 against the
Mhm.
Pirates. They
Mhm.
finish out their series tonight,
Right.
today actually
Right.
at 12:35. The Yanks won yesterday 3-2 against the Royals. The Yanks finish out their
Mhm.
3-game series tonight at 7:05.
Right.
Mr. P,
Yeah.
I know we haven't talked, too much about how the Mets are going to do. Well, we actually have talked about how the Mets are going to do this year, but
Yeah.
if the Mets keep on playing kind of like a win-loss, win-loss, win-win-win-loss
Yeah.
kind of season, do you think there's maybe a possibility that they could make the playoffs? A possibility.
Yeah, big possibility. I mean, they could definitely be in the wild card. Nobody's running away with it in the East. They could even win the division. But, anything's possible. If they can get some of the bats back on track. Ike Davis is still woeful. I think he went 0 for 4 last night. So, if they can get some of the Torres is not hitting, so they're really not hitting
Right.
per se. The pitching's been pretty. Starting pitching has been pretty good. I can't say that about the bullpen, but yeah, anything's possible. The only team that's really running away with it is playing excellent baseball is the Dodgers. So.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. P, Peyton Manning. We all know the move he made to the Broncos. And Mr. P, I just have a question for you.
Yeah.
Having been, such a popular quarterback, such a great quarterback, such a leader, do you still have to go into that locker room kind of like a rookie?
Well, you have to, start developing relationships, start communicating with your players. I don't know if you have to go in as a rookie because he definitely has a background,
Right.
but definitely has to chart a new ground here with the Broncos and establish himself as the quarterback. And he has a little bit of work to do, but it's not like a new face rookie coming in and trying to prove himself. He's proven
Right.
himself, but he has to also show he's come back from his injury. So
Right.
his injuries. So he has something to establish here, but basically, he's
Yeah,
he's Peyton Manning.
Yeah, I don't think he has, to prove that he's a great quarterback, but I think he has to prove that he can be a great quarterback after the injury he's had. Because if he could do that, then a lot of teams, might go back and say, well, you know what, we should have picked him up. I know we thought that he had a bad injury and that he couldn't play, but the Broncos could really luck out. So, well, that's our show for today here on WHITradio.org. You can check us out every day of the week. It's been a great show today with me and Mr. P.
Take it easy. We'll see you tomorrow.